Probably click the more button at the bottom. Participants, whatever. Did you click the email?
It says she's been invited right there.
Okay.
There she is. Good morning, Christine.
Oh, good morning, Miss Elsa. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Me. I'm so sorry. Could we hang on, and you can ring me more because I wanted in the computer. It's better for me.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead, change to the computer. That's fine.
Thank you. Bye.
Can you hang on? I'm not going to hang on. I'm still got my meeting open. She's just going to come in on the computer instead of on her phone. Now she started a new meeting. Why did she do that? I need to invite her again. How do I do that again?
How did she start a new meeting?
She tried to start a new meeting.
She's supposed to join.
So how do I invite her? How did I do that a minute ago?
You went more participants.
It's not there anymore. It used to have invite there, and it's not there anymore.
It's in the participants button at the bottom instead of more. Do an up arrow. Do the up arrow on participants. There's an up arrow beside participants. Do the up arrow.
Okay, now she's been invited.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
That's probably easier than your telephone, right?
Yes, it's more easy.
Much easier. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I guess we could go ahead and get started. Let's see. Where did we leave off?
I think we will start in lesson 4.
Lesson 4.
Yeah, in unit
page 152.
Yes.
We're going to talk about abbreviations today in help wanted ads. Have you ever read the help wanted ads? Have you ever looked for a job, Christine?
Yeah, I'm looking. I hope.
But have you ever looked for a job?
Yes.
But have you ever done this before where you went out and looked for a job?
Yes.
Where you read the ads and find out what jobs are out there?
Mm-hmm.
You've told me a little bit about you would like to work, but have you ever actually gone out looking for a job?
Yes, I'm looking for a job, yes.
You are now?
Now?
You are now? Now? Are you looking for a job now?
Yeah.
but have you done it in the past? Have you looked for a job in the past?
Yes, also in the past, but I didn't get any work yet.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about how to read ads.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this talks a lot about ads you might find in a newspaper, and very few people use the newspaper to look for jobs anymore.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, very few people even read the newspaper anymore. So this is a little bit dated. This material is very dated. But even if you were looking online, you might see some of these abbreviations.
Yeah.
Although online, it doesn't cost more to spell out the words.
Mm-hmm.
Online, you can just spell out the words. It's not expensive to write words. When you used to have to put ads in the newspaper, you paid by the number of characters or words that you printed. So you used a lot of abbreviations in the newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do that as much anymore, but you should be aware of these abbreviations, even if you don't ever use them, because you may see them in some things. So we're going to talk about the abbreviations that you might see in a job wanted, a help wanted ad. Are you familiar with the term help wanted?
Yes.
Yes. That just means they want somebody to come to work.
Yeah.
And right now there's several places that are hiring, but it may not be the kind of work you want to do. So you have to be particular about what it is you want to do. All right, let's look at this book. It says read help wanted ads. Where do you normally find ads? These are showing you the online ads, which is probably where you would be looking today, right, Christine?
Yeah.
You look online for jobs?
Yes, sure, yeah.
Because that's where most people advertise now, is online. They
Mm-hmm.
might put an ad in a newspaper, but it's not very common anymore.
Yeah.
So let's look at this. One of them is jobads.com and the other one is career.com. A real big one, I think, is careerbuilder.com. Have you seen that website?
And LinkedIn.
The job?
Careerbuilder.com is another one.
No. Yeah, it's another one.
So let's look at these ads. And where we already said you can look for jobs online. You can look for jobs in a newspaper, but the newspaper isn't as common anymore.
Mm-hmm.
What's another way you could look for a job besides online and in the newspaper? Can you tell me another
I
way?
think, yeah, I'm looking for the sign on the shop.
Yes, yes. That's a very common thing. In fact, now you'll see some places will put it on not a billboard, but a sign, a big sign
Yes,
out
big
on the
sign.
street that
Yeah.
now hiring. Have you ever seen those now hiring
Yes.
signs? So
Mm-hmm.
that means that they've got people that are looking for work. They can see that that place is hiring.
Yeah.
All right, so let's look at these. It says, read these two help wanted ads, these two that are from the internet, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Read these ads and look at the words in bold. When they put words in bold print, do you understand bold print? The dark print is bold.
No.
Bold print is the dark letters. You see the letters that are much darker than the others? In your ad, there's some words with darker print.
Uh-huh.
Do you see that?
No, ma'am.
Okay, let's look at the first ad. It says, look at the words in bold and match the words in the abbreviation. So in the ad, it says, car service drivers needed.
Mm-hmm.
We need drivers for our car service. Some experience is preferred. So the words that have been bolded are experience.
Yeah.
That's in bold print. You see the difference?
Yes, yes.
And preferred, that's bold print. Part-time is bold print.
Mm-hmm.
Evening is bold print.
Mm-hmm.
Hour is bold print. You see that? How that's
Yes.
much darker?
Yeah.
Those are the words that they have abbreviated, and they're showing you the abbreviations down here in this exercise below.
Okay.
So we're going to look at those bold words for the abbreviations? Well, the first one, they're looking for car service drivers, and the second one, they're looking for an office assistant, somebody to work in the office. So we read through, let's read through the whole ad. Car service drivers needed. We need drivers for our car service. Some experience is preferred. License required. Part-time. Some evening and weekend hours. $9 an hour. Please reply to this website.
Yeah.
The other one is for an office assistant. We have a position available in our busy office. The job duties include handling phone calls and greeting visitors. This is a full-time position, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. We are looking for a person with excellent organizational, telephone, and people skills. 1 year's experience working in an office and excellent references are required. We offer great pay and benefits. Please fax your resume to Human Resources at this number. Now, fax is another thing that's not very common anymore.
Yeah.
You can fax probably directly from your computer now, but very few people fax anymore. They mostly use email.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go through these abbreviations at the bottom. The first one, HR period, is hour.
Yeah.
Okay, they gave
Yeah.
you that one. M-F.
It's Monday to Friday.
Monday through Friday. Very good. That's Monday through Friday. And it's spelled out in the bold letters in the office assistant ad. Okay.
Okay.
PT.
Part-time.
Part-time. FT.
Full-time.
Full-time. EXCEL.
Experience.
Excellent. Very
Excellent.
good. Excellent.
Excellent.
That was in the office assistant job. They have excellent pay and benefits.
Yeah.
Number 6, YR.
Year.
Year. TEL.
Telephone.
Telephone. POS.
Post office or
No. Position.
position.
Position. POSITION. Position.
Yeah. Position.
I don't see that bolded. It's
No,
not,
it's
not in bold.
the first word in the office assistant.
Yes, yes, you're right. It was also after full time, but I didn't see it bolded there. Yes, we have a position, POS, period. Number 9, BNFTS.
Benefits.
Benefits. Number 10, REQ.
Required.
PREF.
Preferred.
Preferred. EXP.
Experience.
Experience. REF.
Reference.
References. References.
Reference.
You must have good references.
Yeah.
Number 14, INCL.
Included.
Include. W/.
Work or
With. WITH. With.
yeah, with.
And the last one, EVE.
Evening.
Evenings. Very good. So if you've read these ads, what kind of a job is the car service driver ad? What kind of an ad is that?
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Tell me about that first advertisement for car service drivers. What do you know about that job?
It's 9 hours for
$9 an hour.
$9 per hour.
Yes.
And part-time.
I'm sorry. Part-time.
Part-time.
It's a part-time job, so you only get paid for the hours you work when it's part-time.
Yeah.
What else?
It's prefer the experience.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Prefer the experience, or experience is preferred.
Oh, experience is preferred. Well, you have to be able to drive, right? So
Yeah.
yes, it does say in the ad, experience is preferred. What else do you have to have if you're able to drive?
License required.
A license, that's right. License required. You have to have a driver's license. So drivers for their car service, experience preferred, license required, part-time. And the next one says some evening and weekend hours. So you may have to work sometimes in the evening or the weekend, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So what about the other ad? Can you tell me what you learned about the office assistant job?
Yeah, it has excellent in organization.
They want you to have excellent organizational, telephone, and people skills. So they want
Telephone
you to
and
have
people skills.
very good skills working with people. Okay, because that's
Yeah.
that is a job where you're going to see a lot of people, and you have to be able to communicate with people that you don't know. You need to be able to talk to people. You have
Yes.
to have good organizational skills. What kind of a job is that one? Is that one part-time or full-time?
It's full time.
Full-time. And they don't tell you how much you earn.
No,
They
they
just
didn't.
tell you that they pay well, right?
Yes, they didn't.
Okay. So let's go over to 153. We've got some more ads for some more jobs. One is for a receptionist, one is for a store manager, and one is for a sales associate.
Mhm.
Okay, so we're going to read these sentences down here at the bottom. Before we do that, let's read these ads so we know what's in each one of these ads. The job for the receptionist says FT. What does that mean?
Okay.
What does FT mean?
FT is full time.
Full time. POS.
Position.
Position. M through F.
From Monday to Friday.
Monday through Friday in busy medical office.
Mhm.
2 YR.
2 years
EXP.
experience
REQ
required.
required. 2 years experience required. Need good computer and TEL telephone skills. Great pay and what's that last one?
and
benefits. Fax resume to this number or send to this email address.
Mhm.
Okay, the next one's for a store manager. Do you want to try reading that one?
Yes, okay. It's full-time position.
Yes.
Available.
Duties
included
Yep.
supervise employees.
Yes, so duties include supervise employees.
Yeah, a plain work schedule.
Yes.
Assist customers.
Very good.
Looking for a person with excellent people skill.
Very good.
1 year manager experience required. Expiration is what?
Experience,
right?
yes, experience.
Experience. In office supply store, prefer excellence.
Excellent. References. Required.
Some weekend hours.
Yes. Call Manuel for an interview. Very good.
Yes.
And the sales associate at Joe's Cool Clothes. You want to try that one?
Yes. It's part-time, evening and weekend hours. $10 per hour. No experience necessary. Apply in person at school. Liberty Mall, no calls, please.
Very good. So they want you to come in and see them in person. They don't want you to call.
Yes.
Okay, so the sentences down below refer to these 3 ads. The first one says, this is a part-time job. Which one of these is a part-time job? C. Very good. This job has good benefits. One of them advertised good benefits.
Good benefits is A.
A. Very good. A. The receptionist.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, this job pays $10 an hour.
C.
C. Number 4, go to the store to apply for this job.
C.
C. Number 5, call the store to apply for this job.
mm, B.
B is call the store to apply for this job. Number 6, send a resume to apply for this job.
A.
A. Number 7, you need excellent people skills for this job.
Um, it's A.
B,
B.
you need excellent people skills for this job. B.
Oh, yes.
And number 8, you need excellent references to get this job.
B.
Excellent references. B. B is in boy. Excellent
Yeah.
references. Number 9, you need 2 years experience for this job.
A.
A. And you don't need experience for this job.
C.
C. Very good. If you wanted to apply for one of these jobs that they've showed you in these 2 pages, which job would you choose to apply for?
I think the sale associated at job called closes because I don't have any experience.
Very good. Very good. That's a good reason.
Yeah.
When you don't have any experience, you look for a job that doesn't require experience to go
Yes.
to apply for a job. Now, some jobs, even if you don't have experience, they'll train you. So some jobs may be just fine, even if you don't have experience, you just have to be trained. All right. Let's look at the workbook.
Uh-huh.
In the workbook on page 90, read the help wanted ads. They want you to rewrite the ads using the full word for each abbreviation. So they want you to take the same ad and write these same words down on the line next to the ad, and don't use any abbreviations. So you're going to take all those abbreviations and spell out the words. So you might want to refer back to your book where we did those abbreviations on page 152. So you might want to look at the words on page 152 in your big book. We do this just to make sure you're able to write the full words for these abbreviations. So I'm going to give you a couple minutes to work on that, Christine, and I'll be right back, okay?
Okay.
Work on that workbook page and then we'll go over it in just a minute, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, did you finish those?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's go over the first one. You want to tell me what that one, well, that one's already in the book for you. Part-time
Okay.
cashier position available Monday through Friday, evenings experience required. You want to try number 2?
Yes. Full-time bus driver needed, morning to afternoon, 11 and 50 cents by hour. Benefits, driver's license required. Telephone 312-555-1234.
Very good. 11.50 an hour. That's not bad, but it's a bus driver.
Yeah,
And bus drivers generally require,
license.
they not only require a driver's license, a lot of times you have to get what they call a chauffeur's license, which is a much more difficult licensing test
Mm-hmm.
for driving a bus. A bus is like driving a big truck. You have to have a different kind of a license.
Yeah, it's another test.
I'm sorry?
It's another test for the regular license. Yeah.
Another test, a much more difficult test than the regular driver's test.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so number 3.
Number 3, stock clerk position available full time, Monday through Friday, some weekends, no experience required. Apply in person. Bring references.
Good, very good. Bring references. Do you understand what references are?
Yeah, it's like a resume or something.
No, references are other people that you know that can say things about you, about your work ethic, about what you're able to do. But it's references are other people that you know that can say things about you. Okay, hopefully good
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
You want them to say good things. So people that
Yeah.
you know. So if you have a close friend, but
Yeah.
they prefer that they not be family. So you don't want to use a family member, but
Yeah.
a close friend that knows you well would be
Yeah.
a good person to list as a reference.
Good. Yes.
All right, you want to try
Number 4.
number 4.
Yeah. Nurse assistants wanted full-time flexible hours, excellent benefits, 2 years experience required. Email resume to job at this website.
Right,
No,
to that website.
included. Yeah, included
Include references.
references.
Now, when you have worked somewhere, you a person from your work is a very good reference, okay?
Yeah.
And when you haven't worked anywhere yet, you use a good friend for a reference.
Yeah.
But once you have a job and you've worked somewhere, if you have a good job history, you can use a person from that job as a reference. And those are your best references if you don't have any work experience yet, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
All right, now let's look at the next part. It says, read the help wanted ads and rewrite the ads. And this time they want you to use the abbreviations. So where we were taking the abbreviations out at the top, now we're going to actually write abbreviations for any of these words that we might be able to abbreviate, okay?
Okay.
So what are we going to start with? What's the first word in that ad?
Yeah. PT.
Part-time. So you're going to use PT,
PT.
receptionist,
Position is
POS,
POS.
AVAIL,
AV. Available is oh yeah.
we're going to use
EVE.
an abbreviation for available, right?
Yeah.
Was that one they gave us?
Busy car sales office. Saturday, Sunday is. It has abbreviations or no?
They want you to use the abbreviations this time. So you're going to say PT, receptionist, POS, AVAIL at a busy car sales office, And you could actually abbreviate office to OFC. I don't know if you've ever seen that one, but OFC is a good office abbreviation.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday through Sunday is not a common
Mm-hmm.
abbreviation, but you could put SAT through SUN, and that would make it clear.
Yeah.
You could abbreviate it. 8 to 4.
Mm-hmm.
The job, we're going to use INCL for includes.
Yeah,
Handling phone calls and greeting customers. No EXP REQ.
yeah.
And we will train the right person. And then TEL,
TE.
Gary's Classic Cars, and the number.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's try number 2.
Full time
FT,
is the
FT,
FT.
warehouses,
assistant.
WHSE. I don't know if that's, some of these are not listed in the abbreviations, but warehouse can be abbreviated WHSE.
Mm-hmm. Wanted in large company. M to F.
M-F, 7 to 4.
7 to 4 must be able to lift up to 50 pounds.
Right?
EXP
Yes.
REQ
REQ, yes.
in operating a forklift.
Yes.
We offer EXCL.
Yes.
Bay
INCL.
INCL. BEN.
BNFTS. In your big book, it's number 9. BNFTS.
Yes.
And vacation. And they didn't abbreviate it, but vacation you could abbreviate to VAC. There's several of these words that can be abbreviated that are not necessarily in that list that we went over.
Uh-huh.
All right, let's go over to the top of page 91. Read the help wanted ads, then read the statements and circle true or false. You want to read those out loud? See if you can read those with the abbreviations in them.
Okay.
Office assistant.
Full-time office assistant position. Available. Excellent computer skills required. 3 years office experience. Prefer included health insurance and vacation. Email resume to this website. No calls,
Yes.
please.
Very good. Do you want to try the night shift manager?
Yes. Night shift manager. Full-time position available in paper warehouse. Night shift 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. Full benefits and vacation after 3 months. 4 years experience. Supervising employees required. Apply in person only. Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. In this address. Bring references.
Very good. You want to try the gardener?
Gardener is full-time summer. Help wanted at
Louise Landscaping.
Louise Landscaping.
May 1st through October 1st. This is a seasonal job.
Yeah.
May 1st through October 1st.
May 1st to October 1st. Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. $15 and 75 cents by hour. No experience required. Telephone
The number.
a number.
And
Ask for
Louise. Very good. Okay. Now we're going to do these true and false statements down below. It says the office assistant job is part-time. Is that true or false?
It's false.
False. It's full-time.
Full-time, yeah.
And number 2, you need computer skills for the office assistant job.
Yes, true.
Excellent computer skills required. That's true. Number 3, you call the company to apply for the office assistant job.
False.
False. It says no calls, please. Number 4, the night manager shift is from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m.
It's false.
False. That's just when you can apply, right? That's
Yes.
not the hours. The hours were 10 p.m. to 7 a.m., right?
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, you get benefits after 3 months at the night manager job.
Yes, true.
Yes, true. You go to 325 Lincoln Street to apply for the manager job.
Yes, true.
True, true, very good, true. The gardener job is from May to October only.
Yes, true.
True, very good. It's a seasonal job. And number 8, you need experience for the gardener job.
No, false.
False, very good. All right, in this last part, we're going to read about Gilbert Reyes and then look at the help wanted ads in exercise C. Which job is the best match for Gilbert, and explain your answer. So Gilbert Reyes is looking for a job. In Puerto Rico, he was the assistant manager in an office for 4 years. He needs to work full time. He likes working in an office. He needs a job with health benefits because he has a wife and a 6-year-old son. Gilbert can supervise employees, use a computer, and type. He has good references from his old job in Puerto Rico. So, which one of those jobs at the top of the page would be best for Gilbert Reyes?
Is the office assistant maybe?
Um, he has experience supervising employees. He could probably be the night shift manager,
Mm-hmm.
don't you think?
Yes, not yet.
And he doesn't necessarily have computer skills. At least that's not listed here. So the office assistant job is probably not the best job for him. But
Yeah.
the night shift manager might be a good job for him
Yeah.
because it's a full-time position. It's working nights, which might not be the best, but he has full benefits and vacation after 3 months. So he gets benefits after 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
He has to have 4 years experience supervising employees. Well, it says that he has experience supervising employees. So he can use a computer and type. He has good references from his old job in Puerto Rico. So I think the night shift manager job is probably the best one for Gilbert.
Yeah.
The office assistant job, he doesn't necessarily have good computer skills. So that might not be the best one.
Yes.
And obviously he doesn't want to be a gardener. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the big book, lesson 5. And this is answering questions about your work history. So in your case, Christine, you may not have much work experience because you haven't been working,
Yeah.
but these people are going to talk about their work experience. And that's a common thing for an employer to ask you is what experience do you have? What other jobs have you held? Okay, so that's what this is about. Look at the people in the pictures. Read the reasons that they changed jobs and what are some other reasons people change jobs. Christine, did you work before you had your children?
Yes.
Yes. So you do have some work experience, right?
Yeah.
So you have experience before your children were born.
Yes.
Let's talk about these people and why they changed jobs.
Mm-hmm.
The first young man says, I'd like to make more money.
Mm-hmm.
So he's making, he's working and he's earning money, but he wants to make more than he's making right now.
Yeah.
This next young lady says, I'd like a different schedule. So she may have been working nights and now she wants to work days.
Mm-hmm.
I have a friend, a student that I was teaching a few years ago, and she was always working the 3 to 11 shift. And
Mm-hmm.
it worked out okay for her, but she wanted to be home with her children in the afternoons.
Mm-hmm.
So she was trying to find a job that would let her work days so she could be home when her children came home from school in the afternoons. The next one says, I'd like a job closer to home. So he's probably driving pretty far to go to his job. It would be like if you had a job in Nashville and you had to drive all the way to Nashville to go to work. That would be hard,
Yes.
especially living in Clarksville,
Yeah.
right? So you'd
My
want something.
husband, my husband already worked in Nashville.
Does he really? That's a
Yes.
lot of driving.
Yes.
A lot of driving. And sometimes the traffic on I-24 is terrible.
Yes. It's trouble. Yeah.
So the next one says, I'd like to do something different. So she's been working, but she wants a different kind of a job. So she'd like to do something different. Um, so you know that you left your job to get married and have children, right?
Yeah.
And so there are different reasons why you might leave a job.
Yes.
And it's perfectly acceptable to leave a job because you got married, you had children, you needed to be home with your babies.
Yes.
And that's very normal.
Yeah.
And now that your children are in school, you'd like to go back to work, right?
Yeah. Yes.
All right, I'm going to try to figure out how to make this tape player play.
Okay.
So give me just a minute while I try to figure
Yes.
that out, and we'll listen to the CD. So I need to go to share screen. First, I guess I need to bring up the tape player, right?
Yeah.
Do I do that from here?
You go down to there, where you were, down the bottom left corner, the Windows button.
How do I get there from here?
That's
Oh, it's
there.
over here on the left,
There.
right? One of
Yeah.
these.
Go to the top. There. Now you
Where?
got. Now type in player, media player, or something like that.
Where do I type it?
Type, just type right there. Windows Media Player. Click open.
This doesn't look right.
Where is this menu? Well, then close that and go to your Windows Explorer
That's where I was headed.
and click on the where it is. It's not in quick access, so do this. Not is it downloaded or is it in your machine?
I'm sorry, what?
Is it in your machine?
Yeah.
Okay, go to this PC. No, just type.
I can't get to my keyboard.
That's not going to work. Back up.
I can't. I can't reach the backspace key. There.
No, you can't do this PC.
Why not?
We'll try it. Okay. There, the Elements drive.
This one.
Okay, wherever. It's not got anything in it.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
This is what I want right here. I have to do a share screen.
Yeah.
So
Click on the zoom button.
that's not the right one. Share screen.
Lower right.
Then I need to go to
Bottom left.
this
Yeah.
and share sound.
Well, you had to do the share sound first.
I have to do what first?
Share sound.
Where's that?
Unshare. Stop share at the top. Red button. Do share screen.
That's what I did. And you said,
No, and come down here to the lower left and click share. No, don't do that.
please quit yelling at me.
Okay. Share sound. Click that. Now share. Over here in the
Copying, transforming, or adapting in any manner, in whole or in part, is strictly prohibited without the prior consent of Pearson Education.
I need to find what track I'm on.
CD2.
Okay, track 51.
Future 2.
Oops,
Copyright
stop.
2010. Pearson Longman, ELT.
Track 51.
Page 154.
Can you hear it, Christine?
Listen.
Yes, ma'am.
Exercises A and B.
So tell me more about your work experience.
Well, I came to the U.S. 3 years ago. First, I got a job as a gardener. Then last year, I got a job as a stock clerk.
Okay, so now you're a stock clerk. Why are you looking for another job?
Things in my life have changed, and now I'd like to do something different.
Page 154.
Okay, so it said, listen to his interview and put the events in the order they happened. When, what happened first out of those three things?
Manny got the job as a gardener.
Okay, the first thing was he came to the US, right? So number one would be he came to the US. Do you want to listen to it one more time?
Yes, please, ma'am.
Okay, let's listen to it one more time.
Page 154. Listen. Exercises A and B.
So tell me more about your work experience.
Well, I came to the U.S. 3 years ago. First, I got a job as a gardener. Then last year, I got a job as a stock clerk.
Okay, so now you're a stock clerk. Why are you looking for another job?
Things in my life have changed, and now I'd like to do something different.
Okay, so what happened first?
U.S. Came to the U.S.
Yes, Manny came to the US. That's number one. What happened next?
and he got a job as a gardener.
Yes, number three is put a number two by that one. Yes, and then number three is Manny got a job as a stock clerk. So they should be 3, 1, 2 should be the order of those three things. All right, we're going to listen again. And this time we're looking for the answer to why does Manny want to change jobs? So we're going to listen again and see why does he want to change jobs?
Page 154. Listen. Exercises A and B.
So tell me more about your work experience.
Well, I came to the U.S. 3 years ago. First, I got a job as a gardener. Then last year, I got a job as a stock clerk.
Okay, so now you're a stock clerk. Why are you looking for another job?
Things in my life have changed, and now I'd like to do something different.
Okay, so why was he looking for another job?
Things in his life have changed, so
Yes.
he would like to do something different.
Yes, and he wants to do something different. Very good. And he wants to do something different. Now we're going to listen to the whole conversation, so it goes a little bit longer. Starts out the same, but it's going to be longer this time.
Mhm.
Page 154. Listen. Exercises C and D.
So tell me more about your work experience.
Well, I came to the U.S. 3 years ago. First, I got a job as a gardener. Then last year, I got a job as a stock clerk.
Okay, so now you're a stock clerk. Why are you looking for another job?
Things in my life have changed, and now I'd like to do something different.
I see. By the way, you wrote on your application that you were unemployed 2 years ago. Can you explain that?
Sure. I left my job because my mother was sick, and I had to take care of her for 2 months. When she got better, I got a new job.
Okay, so what does unemployed mean?
It's not working.
Yes, not working. He had to leave his job to take care of his mother,
Take
right?
care of his mother, yes.
So he was not working. Um, Now they want us to listen again, and this time we're going to answer these questions about when was he unemployed, and why was he unemployed, and how long was he unemployed. So let's listen again for the answers to those questions.
Yeah. The first questions is
Well,
when.
we're going to listen one more time, okay?
Okay. Okay.
Page 154. Listen. Exercises C and D.
So tell me more about your work experience.
Well, I came to the U.S. 3 years ago. First, I got a job as a gardener. Then last year, I got a job as a stock clerk.
Okay, so now you're a stock clerk. Why are you looking for another job?
Things in my life have changed, and now I'd like to do something different.
I see. By the way, you wrote on your application that you were unemployed 2 years ago. Can you explain that?
Sure, I left my job because my mother was sick, and I had to take care of her for 2 months. When she got better, I got a new job.
Okay, so when was he unemployed?
2 years ago,
2 years ago. Why was he unemployed?
his mother was sick
Yes, his mother was sick. And how long was he unemployed?
for 2 months.
Very good. So he was unemployed for 2 months. We're going to go on and do another conversation. First, we're going to listen and then we'll repeat. And this is basically the same conversation that we've been listening to. So let's listen again and then we'll listen and repeat.
Okay.
Track 53.
Page 155. Conversation. Listen.
So tell me more about your work experience.
Well, I came to the U.S. 3 years ago. First, I got a job as a gardener. Then last year, I got a job as a stock clerk.
Okay, so now you're a stock clerk. Why are you looking for another job?
Things in my life have changed, and now I'd like to do something different.
Okay, now we're going to
Listen
repeat.
and repeat.
Okay.
So tell me more about your work experience.
So tell me more. Go ahead.
So tell me more about your work experience.
Well, I came to the U.S. 3 years ago.
Well,
Well, I came to the U.S. 3 years ago.
First, I got a job as a gardener.
first,
First, I got a job as a gardener.
Then last year, I got a job as a stock clerk.
then last year.
Then last year, I got a job as a stock clerk.
Okay, so now you're a stock clerk.
Okay,
Okay, so now you are a stock clerk.
Why are you looking for another job?
why?
You are looking for another job.
Things in my life have changed.
Things,
Things in my life have changed,
And now I'd like to do something different.
and now I like to do something different.
very good. Okay, we're going to do this exercise down here at the bottom, and you and I will take turns. So fill in the blanks, and remember, pick a row and go right straight across that row for the blue, green, red, and yellow words.
Yes. So I will start.
Have you filled in your blanks?
Yes.
Okay, I'll start the first time. So tell me more about your work experience.
Well, I came to the U.S. A year ago. First, I got a job as a warehouse worker. Then last year, I got a job as a truck driver.
Okay, so now you're a truck driver. Why are you looking for another job?
Things in my life have changed, and now I would like to make more money.
Very good. I'm not going to switch those, Christine. I'm going to let it go with just one time through. Okay?
Okay.
Let's go on to lesson 6 on page 156. Let's do the grammar box at the top of the page. I'll read it and you repeat after me.
Okay.
This is time expressions with ago, last, in, and later. The first one says, I came to the US 3 years ago.
I came to the US 3 years ago.
I came to the US 10 months ago.
I came to the US 10 months ago.
I got a job last year.
I got a job last year.
I got a job last week.
I got a job last week.
I changed jobs in July.
I changed jobs in July.
I changed jobs in the fall.
I changed jobs in the fall.
1 month later, I started school.
1 month later, I started school.
2 days later, I got a better job.
2 days later, I got a better job.
A week later, I was unemployed.
A week later, I was unemployed.
Very good. Let's look at the practice down here at the bottom. We're going to complete the sentences, and we're going to use the words in the box on the left. So the first box has ago, in, and last, and they put ago in for you. So ago is a time in the past. Teresa came to the US 2 years ago. She studied English. What goes in that line?
Last year.
Last year. She got a job.
In December.
Very good. Try number 2.
6 months later.
No, 6 months ago.
Ago.
6 months ago. Milai.
Milai came to the US. She started working in a factory 1 month ago.
1 month later. 6 months ago, Milai came to the US. She started work in a factory 1 month later. She left that job last week because she got a better job. Very good. So this could be a little bit confusing, Christine, when to use ago, last, and later. And really the best thing is just use them and read them until you feel comfortable with them. Let's go back and just read through the numbers 1 and 2 again. Teresa came to the US 2 years ago. So we're talking about something she did in the past. She came to the US 2 years ago. She studied English last year, and she got a job in December. Number 2, 6 months ago, Milai came to the US. She started work in a factory 1 month later, and she left that job last week because she got a better job. Do you want to try number 3?
Yeah. In 2004.
Very good. In 2004.
Muhammad came to the US.
Yes.
1 year. 1 year later.
Yes, very good. 1 year later.
He got a job in a supermarket. He got a new job in a warehouse last month.
Very good, very good. So you can see really the best way to learn when to use ago, last, later, these words, the best way to learn it is just read it until it feels comfortable for you, okay? So you can read through these again and help you to get more comfortable with how to use these words. Teresa came to the US 2 years ago. She studied English last year. She got a job in December. 6 months ago, Milai came to the US. She started work in a factory 1 month later. She left that job last week because she got a better job. In 2004, Mohammed came to the US. 1 year later, he got a job in a supermarket. He got a new job in a warehouse last month. And the best way to learn those is just to use them. Let's go down to part B, write each statement a different way, and use ago or in. Now this time you only have to worry about ago and in, so you don't have to worry about all those extra words.
Okay.
Tina got a new job last month. Tina got a new job a month ago.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you were going to try and say that another way, you could say
Yeah.
Tina got a new job in December. Okay, something like
Okay.
that. But we're supposed to use ago and in.
Yeah.
Do you want to try number 2? Inez learned to use a computer in 2001.
Ines learning to use a computer.
Well, I would start it with the
To
phrase in 2001. So write in 2001
yeah.
first. So
Mm-hmm.
in 2001, Inez learned to use a computer because it says she learned to use a computer in 2001. And we could say 20 years ago. If you want to use ago, you could say 20 years ago, Inez learned to use a computer.
Yeah.
But this also works saying Inez, in 2001, Inez learned to use a computer. That gives you the year.
Yeah. So it's we will say in 2001, Ines learning to use a computer.
Yes, yes. Frank got his job a year ago. Now we have to say that differently. So we're going to say it differently than what they wrote.
Hmm.
How would you say that differently? You could use the same words and turn them around. So it says Frank got his job a year ago. So you could start by saying a year ago.
A year ago. No, I don't know. Frank got his job in a year.
Yes, a year ago, Frank got his job. Okay, we're trying to write it a different way than the way they wrote it. Okay, so they wrote Frank got his job a year ago. So we're going to write it a year ago, Frank got his job. It's saying the same thing, but in a different order. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
We're saying the same words, but we're turning the order around. There's different ways to say the same thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Number 4, Walter left his job in January. So you might start it with in January.
In January, Walter left his job.
Perfect, perfect. In January, Walter left his job. Louise started school 6 months ago.
So 6 months ago, Louise started school.
Very good. 6 months ago, Louise started school. Very, very good. All right, number 6, Beatrice changed jobs last week.
A week ago, Curtis changed job.
Yes, very good. A week ago, Beatrice changed jobs. Very good. All right, let's go over to 157, practice. Look at the timeline. They've given you a timeline here in your book. And write a short paragraph about ARAM. So you're going to write a few sentences. It's not going to be difficult. Just a few sentences about ARAM using the timeline. And we're going to use the words in, ago, and later. So we want to make sure we use those words in the paragraph when we write it.
Mm-hmm.
There are different ways to write it. Let's go over the timeline first. In May of 2005, ARAM came to the US. In June of 2005, he started English classes. In January of 2006, he got his first job. In July of 2007, he got a better job. And in December of 2009, he became a supervisor. So that's the timeline we're going to use to write this paragraph. So we're just going to write sentences about ARAM. They wrote the first one for you. ARAM came to the US in May of 2005. What happened next?
He started English classes in.
Okay, but how would you say that using the words?
Ago.
Yes. Or you could say 1 month later. Because if you use ago, it doesn't really make sense. We're following the fact that he came in May of 2005. And 1 month later, he started his English classes.
Yeah.
Okay.
1 month later.
1 month later, he started English classes. And then he got his first job in
January. 2006.
Very good. He got his first job in January of 2006. Now, there's different ways to say this. 7 months later, he got a better job, or you could say in July of 2007, he got a better job. So you need to use
He got a better job in July
of 2007. Very good.
2007.
He got a better job in July of 2007. And the last one?
Uh, he became a supervisor in December 2009.
Very good. Very good. That's exactly right.
Too difficult.
When we're writing a paragraph like this, where we're talking about Aram, we don't want to say the same phrases over and over and over again. So you want to be careful when you're writing this, not to always say in this month, in that month, in that month. We want to use different phrases. So the way they wrote it in my book, they wrote, Aram came to the US in May of 2005. A month later, he started English classes. He got his first job in January 2006. 7 months later, he got a better job. And then in December 2009, he became a supervisor. So what you did is very good. Just be careful that you don't always say in. For instance, you don't want to say in May 2005, in June 2005, in January, because it's very repetitive and it doesn't sound well. It doesn't sound good. Okay.
Okay.
All right, let's go back to our workbook. So we're on page 92 in the workbook, and we're going to complete the sentences. This is a paragraph,
Mm,
and we're going to complete these sentences.
okay.
So David Ho was born in Taiwan in 1952.
You want to repeat?
His father went to the United States to work. So what goes in blank number 2?
9 years ago.
No.
Later.
Yes. 9 years later, Mr. Ho brought his wife and 2 sons to the U.S. David was 12 years old. The family lived in Los Angeles. David went to school, but he didn't understand English. He studied very hard. He learned English
In 6 months.
in 6 months. He learned English in 6 months. David went to college and studied medicine. He became a doctor.
In
the 1990s, he studied a terrible new disease called AIDS. Dr. Ho made medicine for people who had AIDS.
In 1996.
In 1996, Dr. Ho received Time Magazine's Man of the Year award. Now people with AIDS can live longer than they did
10 years later.
10 years ago. 10 years ago. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense but it's this material is dated. It's old material. So this says 10 years ago. Now it'd probably be more like 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Instead of 10 years, it's more like 25 years ago. Okay.
Okay.
All right, let's I can't play this CD, so we can look at this exercise here at the bottom, but my CD in my workbook does not work very well. So let's we'll just skip exercise B unless you want to try to figure it out. It's kind of hard to figure it out without listening to the CD.
Yeah.
There's 2 different stories about 2 different immigrants named Julia and Jung Woo, and their stories coming to the US. But I think we'll just skip that. and go on over to the top of page 93. At the top of page 93, look at the timeline. This is about Arnold Schwarzenegger. Do you know who Arnold Schwarzenegger is, Christine?
Sorry?
Do you know who Arnold Schwarzenegger is?
No.
He's a bodybuilder, or was a bodybuilder. And he was famous for his bodybuilding.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, he also became the governor of the state of California.
Oh, really?
So he's also studied, also served in politics.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're going to look at this timeline and complete this paragraph about Arnold Schwarzenegger's life. And we're going to use the words ago, in, and later.
Yeah.
So looking at the timeline, we're going to start with 1947. In 1947, well, the way they wrote the first sentence for you. Arnold Schwarzenegger was born in 1947 in Austria.
Yeah.
You could also say in 1947, Arnold Schwarzenegger was born in Austria. So there's different ways to say it. What happens next in our paragraph? Can you do the next sentence in 1967?
Yeah. Ronaldo moved to the
You could
U.S.
just call him Arnold because that last name's really hard.
Yeah. Arnold moved to the U.S. in 1968.
Well, before 68, he won the Mr. Universe bodybuilding title in 1967.
Uh-huh.
So you might say he won the Mr. Universe bodybuilding title in 1967.
Mm-hmm.
And what then? And that was in 1967. Then what happened in 1968?
It's 1 year later.
Yes, very good.
He moved to the U.S.
Very good. 1 year later, he moved to the U.S. And then in 1970?
He started in first movie,
Yes.
Hercules in New York in
Very good.
1970.
Right. And then 2 years later?
And in 2 years later, he started in the hit movie, The Terminator.
Very good. And in 1983?
In 1983, he became a U.S. citizen.
Very good. And then 3 years later?
And in 3 years later, he married TV news star Maria Shriver.
Maria Shriver, very good. And then in 2003?
He became the governor of California.
Very good. He became the governor of California. All right, down at the bottom, they want you to make it personal and write 3 sentences about your own life and use those things like last week, 3 months ago, and in 2007. So they gave you these things, and you can change that year down at the bottom if you need to, because 2007 was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So you choose 3 sentences about you, personal sentences about you, that you can write about last week, 3 months ago, and 2000, and pick a year, any year. You don't have to use their year.
Okay. You need to, I do it now or later?
Go ahead and do it now.
Now?
After you write it down, I want you to read it to me.
Okay. So first one,
Yes,
I
go ahead.
watched a movie with my family last week.
Okay, I watched a movie with my family last week.
And the second is I learned English 3 months ago.
Very good. And the last one?
I married in 2007.
Okay. Is that when you got married was 2007?
No,
No, I was going to say, that was a
in
long time ago. You
2012. I
Hey,
married
Marie,
in 2012.
2010? Is that what you
Yeah,
said?
2012. 2012.
12.
Hmm.
Okay. You need to change that year, 2012.
Yeah,
You were probably still in high school or in
yeah.
school in 2007.
Actually, in the last year in the high school, in 2007.
Oh, okay. Is that when you graduated from high school?
Yeah,
So you could say I graduated from high school in 2007.
graduated. Yes, yes, that's it.
Okay. We're going to go back to our big book and we're going to have to listen to the CD again. Read about jobs in the US. Before you read, it says look at the pictures and talk about the job market for these fields of employment in your area and which fields have many jobs available. Right now, in this time of COVID, job hunting is very different than it was even a year ago. So it's hard for us to say what it's like in this COVID environment. But we're going to pretend it's not that, and we're going to pretend it's a year ago and things were normal.
Yeah.
Okay, so look at the pictures, talk about the job market. So what's the first one is in agriculture. What can you say about that first picture?
It's agriculture.
Agriculture, that's farming.
Yes,
And farming is real big here in Robertson County. I don't know about in Montgomery County, probably not so much.
yeah.
But here in Robertson County, farming is a very big part of our way
Yeah.
of life. What about the next one?
Technology.
What do you think the job market is in technology?
Um, he working technology in the computer skills.
Right. There are probably a lot of jobs available in technology if you have the right education and experience.
Yes.
Healthcare, that's a real big one, even now, especially now.
Yeah.
And the last one is called manufacturing. That's making things. And that's always a big job. I don't know about in Clarksville, but here in Springfield, we have several factories where they do manufacturing. So there's lots of different places in Springfield where you could go to work if you were interested in doing a job in manufacturing. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at the reading skill in the red and yellow box. It says predicting the topic. You can often guess what an article is about by looking at the title and any pictures they've included in the article. This will prepare you to understand what you read. So before you read anything, you want to kind of skim the article, look at the topics and any pictures that might be in the article as well. So look at the title of the article and the pictures and predict what do you think is the topic of the article. So in this article at the bottom of the page, today's hot jobs, what do you think this article is about? Just predict without reading.
It's about healthcare.
It's about jobs.
It's about jobs.
Yes.
Yeah.
And not just one particular field, right? It could be in several fields.
Yeah.
But it shows a woman taking care of an elderly man, a man in a computer environment. So it's about different types of jobs that may be available in the current job market, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to listen to the article on the CD, and then I'll read it again and have you repeat it after me. So we'll read it together. But first, let's just listen to the CD.
Okay.
Page 158. Read.
Today's hot jobs. The U.S. job market is changing fast. In 1900, 41% of workers had jobs on farms. Now, only 2% of workers have agricultural jobs. In 1950, 25% of workers had jobs in manufacturing. Now, only 12.5% have manufacturing jobs. So what fields of employment are growing today? Healthcare, Many of the fastest growing jobs are in healthcare. The U.S. population is getting older. These older Americans need medical care and help with daily living. The greatest need is for home health aides and physician assistants. Home health aides take care of patients in their homes. Physician assistants help doctors in a clinic or hospital. Technology. As the field of technology changes, the jobs change too. In the 1980s, most technology workers were computer programmers. Now there is more need for network analysts, web designers, and software engineers. Network analysts make sure email and internet communications are working well. Web designers create internet sites. Software engineers develop software like games and word processing programs. Today's jobs are in healthcare and technology. The job market continues to change quickly. Where will tomorrow's jobs be?
Okay, now I'm going to read it and have you repeat after me. Okay,
Okay.
Christine?
Okay.
Today's hot jobs.
Today's hot job.
The U.S. job market is changing fast.
The U.S. job market is changing fast.
In 1900, 41% of workers had jobs on farms.
In 1900, 41% of workers had jobs on farms.
Now only 2% of workers have agricultural jobs.
Now, only 2% of workers have agricultural jobs.
In 1950, 25% of workers had jobs in manufacturing.
In 1950, 25% of workers had jobs in manufacturing.
Now only 12.5% have manufacturing jobs.
Now, only 12.5% have manufacturing jobs.
So what fields of employment are growing today?
So, what fields of employment are growing today?
Healthcare.
Healthcare.
Many of the fastest growing jobs are in healthcare.
Many of the fastest growing jobs are in healthcare.
The U.S. population is getting older.
The U.S. population is getting older.
These older Americans need medical care and help with daily living.
These older Americans need medical care and help with daily living.
The greatest need is for home health aides and physician assistants.
The greatest need is for home health aides and physical assistants.
Home health aides take care of patients in their homes.
Home health aides take care of patients in their homes.
Physician assistants help doctors in a clinic or hospital.
Physician assistants help doctors in a clinic or hospital.
Technology.
Technology.
As the field of technology changes, the jobs change too.
As the field of technology changes, the job changes too.
In the 1980s, most technology workers were computer programmers.
In the 1980s, most technology workers were computers programs.
Now there's more need for network analysts,
Now there is more need for network analysts,
web designers,
web designers,
and software engineers.
and software engineers.
Network analysts
Network analysts
make sure email and internet communications are working well.
make sure emails and internet communications are working well.
Web designers create internet sites.
Web designers create internet sites.
Software engineers develop software
Software engineers develop software
like games and word processing programs.
like games and word processing programs.
Today's jobs are in healthcare and technology.
Today's jobs are in healthcare and technology.
The job market continues to change quickly.
The job market continues to change quickly.
Where will tomorrow's jobs be?
Where will tomorrow's jobs be?
Very good. Now we're going to do check your understanding. We just read through the article twice, so we don't have to read it again. What was the main idea of that article? Was it the number of jobs is growing, the US market is changing, or the fastest growing jobs are in healthcare? What was the main article of the whole, the main idea
I
of
think
the
B.
B? The US job market is changing fast, letter B.
Yes.
All right, part B says read the sentences and circle true or false. In 1900, 2% of workers in the United States had agricultural jobs.
False.
False.
No.
It's false. If
Yeah.
you go back and look at the article, it says in 1900, 41%
Yes.
of workers had agricultural jobs.
Mhm.
So they're saying about in 1900, it was not 2%, so that's false.
Yeah.
Today, 12.5% of workers have jobs in manufacturing.
True.
True. The field of healthcare is growing because people are getting older.
True.
True. The number of home health aides is increasing.
True.
True. The number of home health aides is increasing. I don't know what your book says. Can you read me number 5?
Yeah. Physicians, assistants work in hospitals and clinics. True.
Okay. True. Very good. My book has a different sentence. That's why I wanted you to read yours.
Yeah.
Number 6, network analysts plan and make internet sites.
True.
No, that's false.
No.
Go back to the technology paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
It says
Make sure email
network
and internet
analysts make sure email and internet communications are working well. So network analysts work on email and internet communications.
communication.
So this one is false. Number 6 is false.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 7, most technology workers are computer programmers now.
Yes, true.
Nope, that's false.
Oh,
It
also?
said in the 1980s they were computer programmers, but now they're more network analysts and web designers. They're not computer programmers anymore. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
When I graduated from college, I worked as a computer programmer for quite a while, but that's not the current needs.
Mhm.
So look down here in letter C. What are the fastest growing jobs in the following fields? So what kind of jobs are available right now in home health care, according to this article?
Mhm.
In the article, what did it say were the fastest growing jobs in home health care? Well, healthcare, just healthcare.
That's
It said under healthcare, many of the fastest growing jobs are in healthcare. The US population is getting older.
yeah.
So the greatest need is for?
It's for home health aid.
Yes, so that's the first one, home health aides. So the greatest need is for home health aides. So that's the first one under healthcare. And what's the other one?
And we take care of patients in
And physician assistants. So the two things under healthcare would be home health aides and physician assistants. Okay.
Yes, physician assistants.
And what are the fastest growing fields in technology? So we have to look back at the technology paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's more need for what? Network analysts.
Yeah,
it's right underneath the picture, Christine. Now there is more need for network analysts.
Yes.
What was the next one?
Make sure email and internet communication are working.
Well, they want you to list the 3 types of jobs. So the 3 jobs in technology would be network analysts,
And
web
web
design,
designer
yes, and software
and software.
engineers. So those are the 3 jobs today in technology:
Mhm.
network analysts, web designers, and software engineers.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's go back to our workbook again, and we're going to read again. Look at this article and the picture and predict what is the topic of the article. So before we read it, what is this article going to be about?
It's an interview.
It's about job interviews, right?
Yes.
This article is about job interviews. Okay, so the very beginning at the top, it says, what's the topic of the article? It's about job interviews. I'm not going to play the tape because, again, my CD for my workbook does not work very well.
Yeah.
So let's go to the article, and I'll read it and you repeat after me.
Okay.
Job interview tips.
Job interview tips.
You are looking for a job.
You are looking for a job.
You complete an application,
You completed an application,
and then you get a phone call to come in for an interview.
and then you get a phone call to come in for an interview.
You are happy and excited,
You are happy and excited,
but then you begin to worry.
but then you begin to worry.
What do you do now?
What do you do now?
How can you prepare for the interview?
How can you prepare for the interview?
Remember that an interview is a chance for, remember that an interview
Remember that an interview
is a chance for the hiring manager
is a chance for the hiring manager
to learn if you are a good match for the job.
to learn if you are a good match for the job.
It is also a chance
It is also a chance
for you to learn about the job
for you to learn about the job
and decide if you really want it.
and decide if you really want it.
There are many things you can do
There are many things you can do
to make the interview a success.
to make the interview a success.
Here are some tips.
Here are some tips.
Wear the right clothes for the job.
Wear the right clothes for the job.
Look neat and clean.
Look neat and clean. Miss Elsa, please could give me more minutes, please.
Yes,
Somebody's knocked the door.
Okay, go ahead. Cool. Okay,
I'm sorry.
that's
That's a
okay.
man. It's a man who sprayed for the insects. It's kind
Oh, okay, they come in
one.
spray. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we were talking about how to prepare for the interview. Let's go back to the first tip again. It says wear the
Yes.
right clothes for the job.
Yes. Wear the right clothes for the job.
Look neat and clean.
Look neat and clean.
Don't wear a lot of jewelry,
Don't wear a lot of jewelry,
makeup, or perfume.
makeup, or perfume.
Don't chew gum,
Don't chew gum.
eat, or drink during the interview.
Eat or drink during the interview.
Arrive 15 minutes early.
Arrive 15 minutes early.
You can use the time to use the restroom, comb your hair, relax, or fill out paperwork.
You can use the time to use the restroom, comb your hair, relax, or fill out paperwork.
Act confident.
Act confident.
Yes, you are nervous, but stay calm.
Yes, you are nervous, but stay calm.
Smile, make eye contact,
Smile, make eye contact,
stand or sit straight,
stand or sit straight,
and give a firm handshake.
and give a firm handshake.
Be ready to talk about your work history
Be ready to talk about your work history
and your job skills.
and your job skills.
Explain why you think you are a good match for the job.
Explain why you think you are a good match for the job.
Be formal but friendly.
Be formal but friendly.
The interview may be casual and relaxed,
The interview may be casual and relaxed,
but don't make jokes or use informal language or slang.
but don't make jokes or use informal language or slang.
Don't talk about age, religion, or politics.
Don't talk about age, religion, or politics.
Be prepared for the question,
Be prepared for the question,
why did you leave your last job?
why did you leave your last job?
If you were fired from a job, be honest about what happened.
If you were fired from job, be honest about what happened.
Stay positive and explain what you learned from the experience.
Stay positive and explain what you learned from the experience.
Okay, so what is the purpose of that article?
Uh, is the interview test
Yes, but at the top of the next page, they gave you
here?
3 choices. To help people do well in a job interview, to explain how to complete a job application, or to show how to answer common interview questions. Which was the topic of this article?
To help people to do well in a job interview.
Very good. Letter A, to help people do well in a job interview. The next part says, read about Dominique's job interview. Did Dominique follow the advice in the article? And what did she do correctly? And what mistakes did she make?
Mhm.
So we're going to write sentences down here below this box saying what she did correctly and what mistakes did she make.
Okay.
First, let's read through it. I'll read it and you repeat after me.
Okay.
Dominique had a job interview at a hotel.
Dominique had a job interview at a hotel.
She wanted to look nice.
She wanted to look like.
She ironed her shirt and pants.
She ironed her shirt and pants.
She wore a little more jewelry and perfume than usual.
She wore she wore a little more jewelry and perfume than unusual.
The interview was at 9 o'clock.
The interview was at 9 o'clock.
Dominique arrived at the hotel at 8:58.
Donkey arrived at the hotel at 8:58.
She had to hurry.
She had to hurry.
She arrived at the manager's office at exactly 9 o'clock.
She arrived at the manager's office at exactly 9.
She met the manager and gave him a firm handshake.
She met the manager and gave him a firm handshake.
They talked about Dominique's work history and skills.
They talked about Dominique's work history and skills.
Dominique was nervous, but she smiled and made eye contact.
Dominique was nervous, but she smiled and made eye contact.
The manager asked Dominique why she left her last job.
The manager asked Dominique why she left her last job.
She explained that she was fired.
She explained that she was fired.
She talked about why she didn't like her last boss.
She talked about why she didn't like her last boss.
The manager thanked Dominique.
The manager, sorry, again?
The manager thanked Dominique.
Yeah.
He said, I'll let you know about the job next week.
The manager saying, Dominique, he said, I will let you know about the job next week.
Very good. Do you think Dominique will get this job? Christine, what do you think?
I think yes.
I think no.
No?
No. Because she was talking badly about her last boss.
About last boss? Yeah.
Now, that is not a good thing to do at an interview ever.
Yeah.
Okay, so what things did she do right?
And she
ironed her clothes.
Yes, she ironed the clothes.
Her clothes to make them look nice.
And
she was on time, but not early, was she?
Yeah.
She was running late and she had to hurry, so that's not a good thing. She met the manager and gave him a firm handshake. That was a good thing,
yes.
Right?
It's a firm handshake.
Firm handshake. That's a good thing. So just the good things. She ironed her clothes so she looked nice.
Yeah.
She gave the manager a firm handshake. She smiled and made eye contact.
Yeah.
Those are the good things. Now, let's look at the things she did wrong. She wore too much jewelry and perfume.
Yeah.
She had to hurry because she was running late.
Yes. And she talked about the manager, the last manager.
She talked badly about her last boss.
Yes.
She talked badly about her last boss. So she probably won't get this job.
Yeah.
She could if they were desperate, but probably not. Okay, so those are things she did right and things she did wrong.
Yes.
And now they want you to think about a job interview that you may have had, or maybe someone you know. And did you follow the tips in the article? So when you've ever had a job interview, have you done these things that they told you to do?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
You do? Did you make any mistakes in your job interview?
Yes.
What kind of mistakes did you make?
Sometimes I put more perfume.
Oh, okay. Too much perfume. Yes. Don't do that for a job interview. You want to make a good impression, but you don't want to overdo it.
Yeah.
Okay. What other job interview tips could you give? Can you think of something that they didn't say in this article that might be good to know?
No. What else? No, I think it is all.
I think this did a pretty good job of covering the tips. I think
Yeah.
they covered it very well in this article. Okay, let's go over to the next lesson in our big book. And this is talking about availability. So when you're applying for a job, you need to be able to talk about when you are able to work.
Yeah.
So you may not want to work nights like 11 at night until 7 in the morning. You may not want to work nights, but that might be a good fit if you want to be home during the day for your children. So you might want to work from 11 to 7, come home and sleep while your children are at school, and then be awake when they get home in the afternoon.
Mhm.
But that may not be the job you want. So you need to think about the times of the day that you would like to work and when you would be available to work. Okay?
Okay.
So before you listen, read the information about job interviews, look at the words in boldface, and then what do the words mean? Now remember, the boldface are the dark black letters, okay?
Yeah.
So at a job interview, the interviewer asks you about your availability.
Mhm.
For example, which shift can you work, day or night?
Yeah.
And can you work on weekends? The interviewer may ask if your hours are flexible. For example, can you work different hours if the schedule changes? The interviewer also asks when you can start. If you are working, you should give your boss 1 or 2 weeks notice that you are leaving your job. This will help your boss find a new employee to fill your position when you leave.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about availability, it's important to be flexible, to be
Mhm.
able to work different hours if they need you to. If it's imperative or necessary that you be home at a certain time, you need to make sure that they're aware of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what kind of hours do you think you would like to work, Christine?
Me?
What hours would you like to work?
I like the day shift.
Day shift?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to listen to this CD, and we're talking about Manny's interview again. So this is the same interview
Yeah.
we were talking back just a few lessons ago.
Okay.
This is Manny's interview. And when does Manny prefer to work? So let's listen to the CD again.
Mhm.
Page 160. Listen. Exercises A and B.
Let me ask you a few questions about your availability. Do you prefer mornings or afternoons?
Well, I prefer mornings, but I'm flexible.
All right. Can you work on weekends?
Yes, I can.
Great. And when could you start?
In 2 weeks. I need to give 2 weeks' notice at my job.
Okay,
Mhm.
so when does he prefer to work? When does he want to work?
He can work morning, but he is a flexibility.
So the answer is mornings. He wants to work mornings. So
Mhm.
you're going to check mornings, but he is flexible and he can work weekends.
Yes.
So, all right, let's listen one more time and then talk about when can he start work.
In 2 weeks.
Oh, okay, we don't need to listen again. He can start work in 2 weeks. Why did he tell him 2 weeks?
I'm sorry.
Why did Manny tell the interviewer 2 weeks?
Mm, no, I don't know. I didn't.
Okay, when they I forgot his name. When the interviewer asked Manny,
Mhm.
when can you start?
Mhm.
Manny answered in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
What was the reason why he said he had to wait 2 weeks?
I think he can't tell the job he works now.
Yes, he needed to give proper notice.
Yes.
He needed to give notice on his current job. Very good. All right, let's listen to the next track and see what they tell us. It's more about the same thing.
Page 160, listen. Exercise C.
Let me ask you a few questions about your availability. Do you prefer mornings or afternoons?
Well, I prefer mornings, but I'm flexible.
All right. Can you work on weekends?
Yes, I can.
Great. And when could you start?
In 2 weeks. I need to give 2 weeks' notice at my job.
Okay. Well, everything looks good. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes. When can I expect to hear from you?
Well, I have some other interviews this week. I can let you know next week.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity to talk with you. It was nice to meet you.
You too.
Okay, so Manny asks, when can I expect to hear from you? What does that mean?
This means that if he is accepting the job or no.
Actually, he's asking, when will you call me back?
Yeah.
Okay, so he said he hasn't made a decision yet. He has to interview some more people. And Manny wants to know when to expect to hear from him about the job.
Yeah.
So he's trying to plan an exit strategy for the job he currently has. So he needs to know, when would I have to give notice?
Yeah.
When will I be able to give notice if you decide you want to hire me?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's trying to figure that out. At the end of the interview, does Manny know if he got the job?
No.
No, he does not. He does not know at the end of the interview if he got the job. He has to wait for a phone call. All right, let's go over to page 161. Before we listen, look at the pronunciation watch over to the right.
Mhm.
Some questions with or ask the listener to make a choice.
Mhm.
In these questions, the voice goes up on the first choice and down on the last choice. So if the question contains the word or, they're giving you a choice. So you have to
Mhm.
choose one option or the other, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
So they've drawn some arrows in your book to show how the intonation changes when asking an or question. So first let's listen, and then we'll listen and repeat.
Okay.
Page 161, conversation. Exercise A. Listen.
Do you prefer mornings or afternoons?
Can you work first shift or second shift?
Do you work days or nights?
Okay, now we're going to repeat.
Yes.
Listen and repeat.
Do you prefer mornings or afternoons?
Do you prefer mornings or afternoons?
Very good.
Can you work first shift or second shift?
Can you work first shift or second shift?
Do you work days or nights?
Do you work days or nights?
Very good. So they've given you the or questions and showed you the intonation. So now we're going to listen and repeat another conversation with questions in it, okay?
Okay.
So let's go on to the next track.
Page 161, conversation. Exercise B. Listen.
Let me ask you a few questions about your availability. Do you prefer mornings or afternoons?
Well, I prefer mornings, but I'm flexible.
All right. Can you work on weekends?
Yes, I can.
Great. And when could you start?
In 2 weeks. I need to give 2 weeks' notice at my job.
Okay, now we're going to repeat.
Listen and repeat.
Let me ask you a few questions about your availability.
Let me ask.
Let me ask you a few questions about your availability.
Do you prefer mornings or afternoons?
Do you prefer mornings?
Well,
or
I prefer
afternoons?
mornings, but I'm flexible.
Well, I prefer mornings, but I'm flexible.
All right. Can you work on weekends?
Right. Can you work in weekends?
Yes, I can.
Yes, I can.
Great. And when could you start?
Great. And when could you start?
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
I need to give 2 weeks' notice at my job.
I need to give 2 weeks notice at my job.
Very good. All right, we're going to do another practice with these fill in the blanks, blue,
Mhm.
green, and red. So I'll be the interviewer first and then we'll switch, okay?
Okay.
Let me ask you a few questions about your availability. Do you prefer first or second shift?
Well, I prefer first shift, but I am flexible.
All right. Can you work on Saturdays?
Yes, I can.
Great. And when could you start?
In 2 weeks. I need to give 2 weeks notice at my job.
Okay, now you read A and I'll read B.
Let me ask you a few questions about your availability. Do you prefer days or nights?
Well, I prefer days, but I'm flexible.
All right. Can you work on Sundays?
Yes, I can.
Great. And when could you start?
In 2 weeks, I need to give 2 weeks notice at my job. All right, let's go on to lesson 9. We're almost at the end of this unit. Do you want to go ahead and finish it? I think this is the last lesson in the unit and then the
Yes.
workbook pages.
Yes. Let's finish it. Yes.
Go ahead and finish this.
Yes, ma'am.
What time is your phone call?
10 minutes.
My husband has to get on the phone in 10 minutes,
Okay.
and it'll be a problem if I'm teaching when he's trying to do his phone call. We'll just wait and do lesson 9 and finish up this unit next time. Is that okay?
Okay. Okay, ma'am.
I just know he's got to get on the phone, and I don't want to disturb him while he's in
It's okay.
a call for his work.
It's okay.
But we'll finish it up next time.
Okay, ma'am.
You have a great week, Christine,
Thank you, ma'am.
and I will see you next week, okay?
Okay. Okay. Thank you so
All right.
much.
Take care.
Thank you too. Bye, ma'am.